Testing. Oh, we are on now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dania Beach City Commission regular meeting. It is April the 8th, and it is 7 o'clock p.m. I call this meeting to order. City Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Mayor Davis,
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino,
Here.
Commissioner Lamont,
Here.
Commissioner Romali,
Here.
Commissioner Ryan,
Here.
City Attorney Vitius, here, Deputy City Manager Candido Sosa Cruz,
Here.
There you have a quorum.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. At this time, if we could all bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will move on to item 3, our presentations and special event approvals. Building Department Annual Statistics. Item 3.1 is the Building Department Annual Statistics and Community Rating System Class Improvement. What? That's this. Okay, so this is wrong. We'll go by the official. We will go with item 3.1 per your agenda, which is the 28th annual Plywood Regatta special event application by Parks and Recreation. Okay.
Yes,
Is that
you're good.
okay?
And the rest are correct, right? Yes.
Does anybody have any issues with that? Do I have consensus approval for that? Okay, so we have a consensus, unanimous approval for item 3.1, the 28th annual Plywood Regatta. And then item 3.2, we have a presentation by our very own Historical Society for the use of the Newburgh Swanson House. We have President Joanna Gwinnett. Welcome.
Thank you. Joanna Gwinnett, President of the Dania Beach Historical Society. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Deputy City Manager, City Attorney, and the lovely City Clerk. So the Newburgh Swanson House, the correct pronunciation of it is Newburgh Swanson House. The original owners of the house were Swedish. There we go. As we all know, Dania Beach is Broward County's first city and oldest city, but we are the newest historical society and we need a home, a permanent home. In 2022, a group of individuals got together and re-established the Dania Beach Historical Society and Museum. Since then, we have rented a 10 by 10 space at Gasper Art on US 1. And we use it to meet, have our board meetings, and to sort through the many photos and documents that have been stored by the city and various residents. Oh, I'm going way ahead. So our objective today is to transform the Newburgh Swanson House into a public museum, an archival research centre for the Dania Beach Historical Society and Museum. And we aim to preserve and share the history of Dania Beach. So how do we propose this? So we propose that our plan is organised into a phased approach, which will ensure a thoughtful and effective transition into utilising the Newburgh Swanson House as a museum. We have split the next year into 3 phases. Phase 1 will be collecting and setup, and we will focus on organising and preparing the house for historical activities. This includes gathering collections together and a lot of sorting and documenting of photos and documents representing the various experiences and contributions from all cultural groups in Dania Beach, ensuring their preservation for future generations. But we need time to focus on a routine and procedures. We're a professional organisation and we cannot just open the doors. There's a lot of planning. Open the house. We could plan to host 1 or 2 events each month to engage the community within the first few months. The presentations may just be about the house itself, through guided tours promoting discussions on how Dania was back then, and the residents and how they lived and worked. Phase 2, public presentations and exhibits, months 6 through 12. During this phase 2, we will expand our outreach with monthly public presentations that celebrate the local historical significance of all communities in Dania Beach. These presentations reflect a balanced perspective on the diverse cultural contributions and have shaped our city and incorporate exhibits showcasing the city's rich history. Phase 3, we could incorporate school tours and collaborative initiatives, 12 from months 12 and beyond. In phase 3, we could collaborate with local schools to arrange inclusive educational trips to the house. These tours will include presentations on the founding of Dania and contributions from all of Dania Beach's groups of residents. We could also introduce projects that form collaborative partnerships. As an example, the Dania Tomato project that we could thank you. Project we could partner with the Dania Patch, where students will plant tomato seeds and take them home, promoting community involvement. So we need your support. By supporting our proposal, you will help us preserve a vital landmark and foster engagement across all communities in Dania Beach. Your support will enable us to provide educational outreach, public knowledge, and ensures a comprehensive documentation and preservation of the unique contributions from Dania Beach residents past and present. So our call to action and conclusion, we respectfully request the Commission's approval to utilise the Newburgh Swanson House as a museum for the Dania Beach Historical Society and Museum. And together we can ensure an inclusive representation of our shared history. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each board member of the Dania Beach Historical Society. The board is a volunteer basis, no one gets paid, and so we do this for our love of the history and love of the city. With us, history is being preserved. We do have a security question about what is being used to secure the property. We have Dania's valuables. There are not valuable probably to a lot of people, but they are to us. So security is a big question. It doesn't alter our plans going forward, but we would need to know so we can plan ahead whether we need to obtain storage, extra storage. So thank you for your consideration, and I welcome any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Gwinnett, for that wonderful presentation. Very thorough, and thank you to the board for coming out, joining this evening. I know you guys have been working a lot, and so if the commission has any questions or comments, I do see something from Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor, and Joanna and your board. I just want to thank you all very much for the hard work that you've already put into this project. I can't even imagine how hard it's been to pull together all the things that you have so far, and I'm sure you have a tough road ahead because it's never going to stop. Just a couple questions. Hours of operation. I know you said you just can't open the doors. You need to do some setup. Do you have an idea what your hours of operation will be on a regular basis, and when do you think that would take place?
We'd probably be looking at within the next 3 months we could open, but even in between, it just depends on the hours, which we were thinking maybe once or twice a month. Hours could be weekends, probably more likely weekends,
Okay, so
probably all day.
the hours will probably be more than weekends and not weekdays.
Well, we have to look into the volunteers also, and if the board, some of our board actually leave for the summer and come back November time. So it depends who's here and who can man the doors.
Um, okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. I don't see any other. Oh, okay. Commissioner Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I'm happy we got this far. Looking forward to moving forward. But to go with what Commissioner Romali was saying as well, the hours, from what I've seen, just to give some input from other historical sites to other states, other cities, they usually do it on the weekends. They have like a set time. Like it's 10 to 2 on Saturday, so you know that that's the time. And then we can have special events as well on top of that. But we don't want to put a big burden on you guys. We understand,
Right.
you only have so many volunteers, but that also would be another good opportunity. We could bring this all together with the patch, with volunteers, with the schools.
Love that.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be just on the shoulders of the historical society with all the community involvement that we've been getting lately.
I mean, we didn't even touch on the ideas that we have going forward. I mean, they are amazing ideas. This is just the setup and what we have planned for the immediate in future.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you wait for it.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for that input. And I love the phases that you've broken it down and really seeing how you're going to incorporate the entire community into the Newburgh Swanson House. And I love the tomato and the patch idea. And that's what we were just talking about in our CRA meeting and how we can expand the services and the activity at the patch. So that would be one more addition. I don't know, Deputy City Manager, if you want to speak to the security issue at all that she brought up.
Which part of the security issue? Because I heard, and I saw an email earlier as well. What specifically are we referring to? Because it sounds like the the house is going to be locked
Right.
pretty much the whole week, other than Saturdays, and that's pretty much how it's been this whole time for over a year. We haven't had any incidents. We do have the fire marshal's office. We do have the fire station next door. Which runs 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Um, I'm not sure exactly.
It was at a board meeting that it came up. You know, the restoration was restored. The Newburgh Swanson was restored to how it was originally, which is not like security is now. So I do know the windows do have the screens, but if we have it was a security question that if we hold all our documents and valuables for the like the photos, etc., then um, computers even would it cause a problem? Would it, if somebody's walking by, would they see a computer? But it's not a fandangle computer or anything, or would it be laptops that we take with us? It's
We,
just
we could explore working with our historic architect as far as what we could add, an alarm, what other key features could be added. We do also have, remember, security guard, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which patrols City Hall and also across the street, Nyberg Swanson. That's also there. He's there overnight. He's on a golf cart, and he does monitor both properties. So, Fernando, if you could please get with the architect
to determine, because we still want to maintain that historic designation, and that's what we invested in to keep it as true as possible. We wouldn't want to add any component that would probably neglect us from getting a grant or anything else in the future due to it. So it's something to explore.
Thank you.
Oh, I do have one more. Oh, sorry, one more comment from Commissioner Romoli.
Yes, and I just want to add on that security. If we can't do anything on the outside of the building or manipulate it in the way where today, we have all this technology. There are some technologies that can be placed inside the house that's not going to affect the historical value, like a ring or a camera system that can be monitored in some way. So I think there's some opportunities in the event that Fernando it can't get the approval to do an alarm system for the house. But I think it's extremely important that we take this security seriously for the valuables that are going to be in this house. They're not replaceable, and I think whatever we can do to expand on security, we need to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. And with that, I believe that. Oh, Eve, go ahead.
Just one thing. So if the commission, if there's going to be, it doesn't have to be decided now, but if there's somebody who would like to be the sponsor of the item to move forward with with this or something else, whatever it is, and then we'd have to sit down and discuss like a lease and all the terms and conditions to bring it back.
Thank you. We can discuss that further. But thank you for the presentation for now, and thank you to the Dania Beach Historical Society for all you're doing to preserve our Dania Beach's history. We appreciate you. Next, we have a request for item for Frontline Workers Appreciation Month, sponsored by Mayor Davis. Do I have consensus for this proclamation? I have consensus. And next we have item 4, proclamations, and we have, we have item 4.4, which is the Year 51 CDBG application presentation by Public Services. Item 3.4. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, Deputy City Manager, and City Clerk. I'm Sean Shetton. I'm the Public Services Director, and I'm here to do a presentation on the Community Development Block Grant 51st Year Application and Public Hearing. Can we get that up there? There should be a presentation. All right, as they're loading that up, I do want to mention that this presentation is also serving as a citizen participation requirement as part of the application process. It requires advertising to notify the public of the public hearing, and includes discussion of the application. 2 separate advertisements have been provided, one on the City of Dania Beach website, which was posted on Friday, March 28th, and will conclude on Sunday, April 20th, and another with the Sun Sentinel advertised on March 30th, and that will conclude today, April 8th. And public feedback on the application can be provided via email, telephone call at this forum until Sunday, April 20th. And in addition to this presentation, we do have the request for authorization to apply for the grant as consent on the consent agenda as item 8.3 this evening. All right, just a few technical difficulties here.
It's not abnormal. I had some earlier today. It's just the world we live in.
There it is.
We could move on to proclamations and come back around if that was working. Okay.
Yeah, you go forward. Okay. All right. So, what is the Community Development Block Grant? It's a program administered by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, established in 1974. It's one of the longest running projects in HUD. It provides annual grants to states, cities, and counties to support community development, especially for low to and moderate income individuals and communities. That's going to be used as LMI going forward. And the funds must be used in the following methods. It's to benefit low and moderate income persons, prevent or eliminate slums or blight, and address urgent community development needs. Now, Broward County does serve as a partner in this program, and essentially they receive funds from HUD, and it's a pass through where they manage the funds on behalf of HUD. And the city of Dania Beach can participate as a non-entitlement community because we have a population less than 50,000, and we get into an agreement, an interlocal agreement with Broward County for the CDBG grant funding. So how does the city apply for the grant? We first have to submit an eligible project, work with the county staff to design the project, implement projects with the county oversight by the monitoring subrecipients, ensuring all projects meet national objectives, and submit performance reporting per HUD standards. And the projects must be near shovel ready when we do the application. This year, the application is due April 21st, 2025, so less than 2 weeks from now, and the projects cannot be substantially changed after that submittal is provided. In the past, the city was awarded 2 CDBG grants for year 49 and 50 most recently, and they do coincide with the Dania Beach Oasis program. Now, the Oasis program from Dania Beach is similar to the CDBG grant funding, where it focuses on revitalizing specific streets to foster neighborhood pride and collaboration among owners and tenants, and its key components include infrastructure improvements, private property enhancements, code compliance, public landscaping. Here we go. I got the presentation, so I'll just scoot forward to where we are.
Here. Yeah.
All right, I'll go a little slower. There we are. All right, so this is the Oasis program. This closely mirrors the CDBG grant program. These are some of the neighborhoods that we have locally in the city of Dania Beach that are eligible for the Oasis program. And in the past, the city has utilized CDBG funding that it's received to support various phases of the neighborhood improvement program through this Oasis program. So, how does the city receive CDBG eligibility? Well, first, it's dependent on neighborhoods that are identified by the U.S. Census data and can be seen in the areas highlighted on this slide. The city does have a 5-year plan. I previously mentioned that year 49 and 50 CDBG grant funds have been awarded to the city through Broward County, and they were eligible based on real property and public facility improvements. The 5-year program is most notably pertaining to driveway improvements, changing impervious driveways to pervious driveways with paver blocks, doing sidewalk replacements for safety and ADA compliance, and then upgrades in signage, stop signs, as well as the Oasis signs that will be included within the program. So the next 5 slides do show the 5-year plan, starting with 2 years ago, the year 49 plan, which is pertaining to Northwest Bird Point. 3 streets along that area, 6th through 8th Avenues, is just west of City Hall, where we're located right now, on the other side of the railroad tracks. And it received CDBG and Oasis funding. The 50th year was awarded in December, and this is in the Griffin neighborhood, just north of Griffin, near 28th Avenue, and it pertains to the three highlighted streets. The one that we are applying for in this presentation is the southwest area. It's going to pertain to, again, driveway improvements, sidewalk improvements, and signage improvements. and that is in the southwest area on 12th Avenue. The next year, we do anticipate applying for 52nd year CDBG funding, and that's going to be in the Dania Heights neighborhood, which is just east of Federal Highway and north of Dania Beach Boulevard. And year 53 is going to be in the southeast neighborhood, and it's going to be from 8th through 10th streets, just east of Federal Highway as well. All right, so the CDBG program also does coincide with Dania Beach's Vision 2036. Here's principles. Principle number 3, to provide attractive streetscapes and well-designed and maintain attractive infrastructure and facilities. Principle 6, our great neighborhoods, a sense of neighborhood integrity with pride, and a well-maintained neighborhood infrastructure, streets and sidewalks. And additionally, we always are looking for safety with the sidewalk improvements and the well-being of our citizens, and that also includes the ADA compliance that we'll be providing with this grant funding. And finally, it is to increase the pervious area in our neighborhoods. And with that, that should conclude the presentation. This again is the development, the CDBG Block Grant 51 year application and public hearing. The comments. Comments can be provided from the public until April 20th, and the application is due on April 21st. The Public Service is looking for authorization to apply for the grant on the consent agenda this evening, number 8.3. And at this time, I'd like to open the floor to any questions or comments.
Well, at this time, because it is a federal grant and it does involve community feedback, if there's anybody from the public who's here that has any questions or concerns about the program, you are welcome to speak at this time. Anybody? Seeing none, don't be so bashful. So we will see if there are any questions or comments from the commission. No. All right, great job. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. And then we will move on to proclamations, item 4.1, Esophageal Cancer Awareness Month, April 2025, sponsored by Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. As most of you know, back in November of 2023, esophagus cancer took the life of my best friend and my partner of 24 years. So this is very important to me to make aware this community esophagus cancer. Whereas esophageal cancer is one of the fastest growing cancers diagnosed among all Americans, increasing more than 700% in recent decades. Whereas esophageal cancer kills 1 American every 36 minutes every day and is among the deadliest of cancers, with only about 1 in 5 patients surviving 5 years. Whereas esophageal cancer has low survival rates because it is usually discovered at advanced stages when treatment outcomes are very, very poor. Whereas esophageal cancer in the United States is most often caused by persistent heartburn or gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERG, yet many who are at risk are unaware of this potentially dangerous present when it occurs over several weeks or over several months. Whereas esophageal cancer can be a silent killer, with patients often aware that the heartburn, cough, hoarse voice, sore throat, chest pains, or other symptoms they suffer may be signs of GERD and are reasons to discuss screening for esophageal cancer with their healthcare provider. Whereas esophageal cancer can develop from GERD when fluids from the stomach splash into the esophagus, creating cellular change, resulting in pancreatic conditions known as Barrett's esophagus, which can lead to 30-fold increase in patients' risk of developing esophageal cancer. Whereas esophageal cancer can be prevented through early detection, Barrett's esophagus, which can be eliminated and treated outpatient techniques. And whereas esophageal cancer awareness, along With improvements in prevention, early detection, and treatment stages will enhance the health and well-being of citizens of the city of Dania Beach and beyond. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, Joyce L. Davis, Mayor of the city of Dania Beach, Florida, I hereby do hereby proclaim April 25th as Esophageal Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Dania Beach, and I urge our citizens to be cognizant and aware of these early symptoms of this disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli, for bringing that forward. We all know and love this. So thank you for making that a proclamation. We do appreciate that. Moving on, we will move on to our administrative reports from our Deputy City Manager, Candido Sosa Cruz.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, residents, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Clerk, City Team. My name is Candido Sosa Cruz, Deputy City Manager. I'm going to be going over the manager's report and just touching on some of the items. It's a very detailed manager report with a lot of important information for residents who want to read it. It definitely will be helpful. There's a lot of information there that can impact uh, residents from across citywide. I'm going to start off with where we left off last week, which was Dania Beach being the first city in Broward County to acquire and activate two new BSO Skywatch towers. I'm very happy to announce that those towers are operational already. One have been placed at the City Beach, the other one on Northwest First Street. Our BSO team is doing an incredible job moving them around to different locations throughout the city where they're needed. Additionally, I want to give a shout out to our beach rangers led by our Director of Community Development, Eleanor Narina, and Eric Walton. They're doing an excellent job at the beach in their efforts to maintain a safe, attractive, and secure beach environment. They've been working very hard during these two peak months of March and April, which is when everyone is off. Spring break is going on for colleges, public schools, universities, and our beach is heavily attended. Also, I want to give a big shout out to our BSO team, led by our Chief Jason Turella and Lieutenant Romano. Our BSO Homeless Outreach Officer, Reyes, has done an incredible job working with the Dania Beach teams, organizing a sock drive for the homeless. That's those duties and efforts aren't part of his job description, but he ensures that he goes above and beyond for the residents and for the community in Dania Beach. And I want to say that we're very thankful. I'm very thankful. And all of this starts from the leadership on top, and that's Chief Torella. Thank you very much, Chief, and your team. Our public services team, led by Fernando Rodriguez and Sean, has been doing an incredible job. The Southeast Drainage Project is currently in phase one, which is progressing slightly ahead of schedule. The installation of 12 injection wells is underway, and the design phase for phase two was finalized in February, with the bidding process set to begin in April. Construction for phase two is expected to start in June of this year. Additionally, we are introducing two additional phases to the Southeast Drainage Project to cover as much of the southeastern area as possible, aiming to reduce flooding and manage stormwater runoff effectively. We'll be adding these funding for these two additional phases during our budget workshop this year. The Women's Club Historic Restoration, it has started. It's been evaluated by procurement, the actual process, after which the bidding process will commence. We expect to initiate work by early May of this year. The design for the Ocean Park restroom is nearing the 50% completion milestone. The updated restrooms will be more spacious and fully renovated to accommodate the growing number of visitors at Ocean Park. We anticipate bidding and the start of construction in the first quarter of 2026. The city is actively seeking grants from various government levels to secure additional funding while minimizing financial burdens on our residents. We remain in contention for two legislative priorities submitted to Tallahassee. Our mayor, you were part of that group that went to Tallahassee to advocate for the city. You'll be happy to know that we're still in contention. And the first project is an upgrade to the stormwater system at Northwest Second Avenue, estimated at 1.67 million, for which the city is requesting 50% funding from the state. The second one is a water main replacement in our arts and entertainment district, valued at 700,000. And again, we're requesting a 50% match grant funding. That concludes the manager's report. I'm available to answer any questions, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Deputy City Manager, for that thorough report. And as you can see, we have a lot going on in the city and a lot of great work by the entire team all around. So thank you so much for that thorough report and for the work that you do, because I know I call on you a lot. And so with that, we will. Oh, sorry, didn't see it. Commissioner Llewellyn has a question.
Yes, Deputy Manager, the Women's Club, I know that that's going to start, and you said they're going to start construction in May, correct? I just want to make sure that you all are having some communication with the Women's Club itself about, because they're going to move things out of there. So they're going to need to know when they have to get things out and that sort of thing. So I want to just make a little reminder we need to have some sort of conversation with them about that.
Thank you, Commissioner, but we will start that conversation, the logistics, very soon. Our team will actually work with them in moving them out and relocating them temporarily into the Nyberg Swanson house until the construction is finalized.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. And I see no further comments from the commission, so we will move on to item 5.2, our city attorney report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, and everyone in the audience. I just wanted to give you an update on some breaking news relating to the Monarch Hill landfill and some litigation. At the next City Commission meeting, I will ask you all for some direction as to the information I am providing tonight. There are as you know, we all provide our solid waste, our domestic trash, amongst other things, to the Monarch Hill landfill. And Coconut Creek and Deerfield Beach have filed 2 lawsuits against the county because the county administers the landfill. And because they're the county is looking to expand the landfill from basically triple the size in height, from like 100 feet high to 300 feet high. But the reason for this is to cover all of the needs of this county as far as what to do with our trash issues. And one of the concerns is that there is currently an agreement in place that says no domestic trash can be placed in this landfill after 2027, which is only 2 years, less than 2 years away. So Deerfield and Coconut Creek, as this landfill is located near them, have filed a suit to try and stop the expansion of the landfill. This county commission has approved the landfill expansion high. Again, there's no more land, it's just going up taller. And they're trying to challenge that in 2 ways. One, with the Department of Administrative Hearings up in Tallahassee, and the other one is a challenge to the development order and the comprehensive plan amendments that were made by the county commission. Well, before any lawsuit can proceed, there is a requirement in the Florida statutes under Chapter 164 to have a dispute resolution process for governmental entities. The county has advised us that this process will be going forward and that each city in the county has a stake in whatever they do at this dispute process, because again, our trash is going there. The county, although it administers this landfill, it really has very little trash that goes there because the unincorporated is only it's only a small portion of what is the county. 31 cities are what really use the landfill. So it could affect the rates and the prices that we pay as a city and our residents pay as a city as to any decision that is made as to what to do with this landfill. So I will be asked at the next meeting once you've had time to contemplate the issues, and then again, if you want to have any calls or discussions as to what our position would we like to be be a part of this process and be sitting at the table and as they're doing the negotiations for a possible settlement before they ever get into the litigation. That's the decision that I will be looking for your assistance on. As of right now, I can tell you that other than the city of Coconut Creek and Deerfield Beach, all of the other cities are currently doing what I'm doing. So no other cities have made a decision yet whether they want to participate in this alternative dispute procedure. Okay. Do you have any questions for me now?
Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to make it clear that we discussed to see that we're getting involved in the process. We're not. We have to decide if we're going to be with the county or with Coconut Creek and Deerfield.
And then whether we want to be involved in that process or not.
Exactly. I just want to make that clear
Thank you.
to the board. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan and City Attorney. We will move on to item 5.3, City Clerk reminders.
Thank you, Mayor. Give me a second here so I can scroll back up. Your next meeting is on April 22nd. It's just your City Commission meeting at 7 p.m. Then you have May 13th, your CRA Board meeting at 6 p.m. And then following that is your City Commission meeting at 7 p.m. Also provided in your packet this time around is the Advisory Board attendance for your quarterly, which is something that you had all requested back in January. So that list provides all of the advisory boards and their attendance for the first 3 months of this year. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, City Clerk. And now we will move on to item 6, Public Safety Reports with our very own Captain Jason Caralla.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, Deputy City Manager. First, thank you very much for recognizing my department, my deputies, on how hard you work to keep this community safe. And I think you'll see when I read tonight the 3 incidents I'd like to share with the Commission. You get a snippet of how dangerous this job is, and my deputies put their lives on the line every day to protect this community. And they do such a phenomenal job. And you'll see just when I go over tonight, this is just within a week and a half of what they've been able to do. This past weekend, in the Dania Point operation, we were working, they observed the vehicle parked in a handicap spot over by the Improv. They went into the vehicle and they saw marijuana. They smelled marijuana coming from the vehicle. Once they looked inside the vehicle, they saw a fully loaded handgun sitting on the passenger lap. They got both of the occupants out of the vehicle. They found felony narcotics on both of the occupants. They placed both of the driver and the occupant into custody, and they also got possession of the firearm, which was a Ruger 5.7 caliber firearm, which actually holds rifle rounds. That weapon was taken to safekeeping, and both of these individuals were taken into custody, and the appropriate charges were filed. Also, this past weekend, we have an operation going on over at the Happy Family store. During this operation, one of our deputies went out with a vehicle that was parked illegally. While they were figuring out who this vehicle belonged to, he observed an individual walking by the vehicle. The individual turned away from the deputy, and when the individual turned, he saw a handgun in the individual's waistband. The deputy went to make contact with this individual. The individual attempted to run away. Our deputies were able to pursue this individual. They were able to get him in custody without any force. They got him in custody. Once they got him in custody, they were safely able to retrieve the firearm that was on this person illegally and get him into custody and also take possession of that firearm. And that individual was charged accordingly for the charges. Also last week, over at 4521 Southwest 34th Avenue, our deputies responded to a domestic dispute involving a firearm. Upon arrival, the individual ran inside the house, and he was holding a hostage inside the house. He refused to come outside. Our SWAT team was called because the individual made threats that he had weapons and other explosives inside the residence. Our SWAT team responded to the house. Once a search warrant and arrest warrant was signed by a judge, once our SWAT deputies began to make entry into the house, this individual shot at our SWAT deputies. At least 3 rounds were shot at our SWAT deputies. Our SWAT deputies were still able to safely get this individual to exit the house without anyone being hurt. We rescued the hostage, and we were able to get this individual into custody. After that individual was placed into custody, we found the handgun that was used to shoot at my deputies. We also found 3 9mm shell casings in front of the house and the projectile holes that were shot at the deputies. This individual was charged with 8 counts of attempted homicide of a law enforcement officer, and as well as the other charges for domestic violence. Like I said, I wanted to highlight, and that was just a snippet of what we dealt with this week on these walk gun cases. And obviously, the last one leading to shots that were actually fired at our deputies. They've done an exceptional job protecting this community, and I really am so proud of the work that they do every day to protect Union Beach and protect our residents. Also, this weekend we held an autism event at Foss Park. We had 20 autism kids that came, and Taryn and Eric, Detective Hoffman Sessions, they put that on. It was a beautiful event. They do it every year. It was fantastic. And last but not least, spring break is winding down. We have our ongoing operational plan over at Dania Point, and it's been extremely successful. We've had no issues over at Dania Point. It has been amazing. I know Commissioner Llewellyn's always over there, and she's seen the difference, and a lot of you have been there, seen the difference. It really has been so nice to see a difference between this year and last year, with all of us working together as a team, with the city commissioner, the city mayor, the deputy manager, city manager, and Kimco and BSO working together to come up with a good solution. And obviously, the plan we have in place is working. So it's been amazing. And that completes my report.
Thanks, Chief. I mean, you really go above. When you say snippet, that is just a snippet. Your team does so much above and beyond what you were able to say today, but I'm just so glad that you're at the helm and you hit the nail on the head. It is a team effort, but you guys keep us safe in those sky towers. I know we're going to make a huge difference in our community safety, so thank you for all you do.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have our BSO Fire Chief, Sergio Pellicer.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Deputy City Manager, City staff, and great citizens of Dania Beach. So, as Captain Terrell just stated, April is our Autism Acceptance Month. This past Sunday, our life safety educator participated over at Dania Point, and we did an autism event at Dania Point. I'm really excited to tell you about something that we're doing for our crews. If you ever when you visit my fire station, you walk in the kitchen. Usually, when the guys are eating dinner or breakfast, they'll sit there and there's a TV there, but it's not playing news or it's not playing anything other than giving them everything that they have to do as far as like what the objective for the day is. You have a screen that shows them how many calls we ran this past month, which station is the busiest, who is behind on making sure that their education is up to date. Because we're very key on making sure that everybody keeps their target solutions. So with that, we've also launched a video series on YouTube that also plays on there, and it's all about continuous quality improvement. In those videos, we talk about the key calls that we had for that month. So different stations have different calls. Some of them are more acute than others. And what we do is we take those calls, we learn from them, we critique them, and then we talk to our crews about them in this video so that they can learn. And ultimately, what that does is enhances the quality that we bring back to our citizens here in Dania Beach. So that is the one thing that I think is very key to keep up with the young generation, making sure that we educate them in a different way. This past month, our firefighters and paramedics responded to over 704 calls for service. Out of those, 552 were EMS medical related, and 152 of them were fire related. Now, our inspectors were busy. They did over 264 inspections last month with 38 plan reviews. So we've been busy, and we keep ourselves educated to do our best in the community. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. That's
Thank you.
amazing. What's your YouTube channel? Is it Continuous Quality Improvement? What's your channel?
I'll
You
email
give it to us
Yes,
later?
I'll,
All right.
I'll email you a link so you can look at it.
I want to make sure I like and subscribe.
You got it. Take care.
Thank you, Chief. Have a great one. We appreciate you. And now we will move on to our citizens' comments. Up first, we have Miss Daphne Henry. If you would come forward and state your name and address for the record, please. Good evening. A little closer. Oh, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, and Deputy City Manager, and City Clerk. We are here this evening to thank you guys for voting for us to get Northwest Second Street renamed the Henry N. White Senior. So we are here to thank you guys for allowing that to take place. And also, last time that we was here, there was a few people asked for a shirt. I remember Miss Davis, yes, Mr. Rock. So we do have your shirt here. We have a little extra. So if anybody's interested in one, you can have one, but she wasn't here. But if you like one, you can have one. This is, if you don't know, this family worked so hard and so diligently to get this street renamed. And so I'm very happy, and not many people in this world keep their promises. So thank you for coming back and bringing our T-shirts. We will wear them with pride and let everybody know about the Henry White Street. Thank you. The name is on there. Okay. Okay, the name is on there. Oh yeah, my name. Miss Henry, let's make sure that you say your address for the record. It's okay. You don't have to do it right now. Thank you. Yeah. Just for the record, my address is 1201 Northwest 2nd Street, Dania Beach, Florida.
That's the left out here. Maybe the corner again.
Thank you. So who will okay. And yes, they say Dania in the back says established 2024 and Henry N. White Senior Street. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you guys. Thank you for that, Miss Henry. And then up next we have Linda Wilson. Would you please come up and state your name and address for the record? Linda Wilson, 1547 Adams Street, Hollywood, Florida. I'm here to speak on your plans for the Nyberg Swanson House and the request of the Dania Beach Historical Society to be the primary or the only resident of that house for the Historical Society. I would like to say the first thing about the security. With all of the technology you have available to you, I think the easiest technology would be to wire the screens. That doesn't require a whole lot. You could have wireless security that would not have
anything on the outside of the building. And you could also possibly have it, since you said the fire department administration is there 24/7, perhaps they could be the security monitor of anything that goes on there. The house, as it stands right now, could not in any way, shape, or form accommodate anyone who has any kind of equipment of any value, that the windows could not be broken and the door could not be broken into without some form of security. So the things that will be there if it becomes the house of the Dania Beach Historical would be irreplaceable, as it's already been stated. I have been a member of this since the beginning as one of the founders of the reincorporated Dania Beach Historical Society with former commissioner of, Lauren. Anyway, our purpose in putting this forward is because we are the oldest city and it needs to be retaining the history. Secondly, I'd like to say that there are many things that house can be used for, just as it is in the Hollywood Historical Society, for speakers, for presentations, to have special events there. So the use of it to be used, right now the Historical Society is only open to the public on Sunday. It is open to the public for its speakers and presentations at Sterling Road Library, because right now the Hollywood Library is closed, but the Sterling Road Library has always been a fallback there. We have talked about the possibility with Friends of the Dania Beach Library of holding concerts in conjunction with the Dania Beach Historical Society, should they approve to do them with us, around the tree there, which have been done in the past. And they were very successful concerts. Jeff Hansen was on our committee to get, I know there's been some push to have Blues and Jazz Festival reignited here in the city of Dania Beach. It was very successful in Hollywood. I have just one quick thing to say. You have
Finish up.
almost
Thank you,
all
Ms.
of these,
Wilson.
for sure. Mayor Davis and Commissioner Llewellyn have been to the Women's Club to their meetings. I don't know how you could conceivably imagine that they could accommodate 35 to 40 people with lunches, and also being a place for the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and for the police retirement fund meets there as well. I don't know that you all are aware of those uses, but it's not suitable for that use.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Thank you for your comments. We have heard you, and I will let our deputy city manager respond.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Linda. One thing I did not say was that the Nyberg Swanson was the original idea for the Women's Club, but we did discuss also the Northwest Conference Room, which is here at City Hall, which has the capacity to house additional individuals up to, I believe it's 50 or 60 individuals. We have a security guard here at City Hall. We have a City Hall garage available. So that was a different option that we were going to discuss with the women folks. So I know I did discuss this with the manager. She also requested that we reach out to the Women's Club. So when I did mention the Nyberg Swanson House, that was a previous plan that did get amended to the Northwest Conference Room.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move on. I'm going to let Commissioner Llewellyn say something briefly, but we're going to move this meeting along. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I also did speak with the board members, including the president of the Women's Club, and they have some other ideas as well, where they wouldn't necessarily be holding their lunches in there, their meetings in there. They're talking about doing some other things as well, which is again why it's important to have a conversation so that they can have the plan in place. But I know that Nyberg Swanson would not be suitable. It's not. It won't be able to accommodate the people that are there. So, but I know. Sorry. But anyway, but I know that they do have some ideas. They've already been planning it and thinking about it. So that's why I just wanted to mention that. Thank you. And moving on to the consent agenda, item 8. Does the commission wish to pull any items from the consent agenda? Vice Mayor Salvino.
Make a motion to move the consent agenda, Mayor.
I have a motion from the Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda passes unanimously. So we will move on to item 9, bids and requests for proposals. Item 9.1, Eve, if you could please read item 9.1.
Yes, Mayor. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach authorizing the award of the Lightful Banner Production and Installation bid to AAA Flag and Banners Manufacturing, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is Public Services title.
Good evening, Fernando Rodriguez, Public Works Director. How are you? This item was a bid at ITV that we put out to essentially continue our annual service for banner installation and manufacturing, which we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. The bids that came in were there's 6 of them, and the more important, most frequently used categories, which is banner manufacturing of a certain size, installation, removal of banners. In those 3 categories, are the most important categories, the AAA flag banners came in as the lowest bidder, and they have been our contracts for the past 3 years. So very reliable and dependable. So that was the choice made. So AAA flags and banners. We typically install about 125 to 150 banners annually throughout the city. As you see them, some of them we do it for the holiday season, and we do it for the Independence Day holidays, etc. So it's the continuation of the same service.
Thank you, Fernando. Do we have any discussion? I have some discussion on this item because I have received some, feedback from the public, and if we're going to renew this contract, I would like for the commission or us to be able to have some feedback on the design of the banners or to be able to have some kind of input because I have had, while I may love the flag banners, again, I have had some concerns about other of the sculpture, the totor, or myself, I've had a concern about the palm tree as a banner. So I would like for us to be able to have some discussions if we're going to renew the contract regarding the banner program and be able to have input from the commission as well. So,
Certainly. Okay, well, that's certainly feasible. Yes, the graphic design and the design of the banner is not really it's contained in the bid service, but it's not an issue that anybody can.
But if you could also speak to the fact that we did approve the CGI program with this commission, which was the free banner program. I know we spoke about it in our agenda item meeting, so I want to make sure that you did confirm that we couldn't put that program on the main roads, but on the side roads. But I just wanted to make sure that the commission and the public understood the difference of how we would be able to use the program and how it works.
Certainly. Yes. I spoke to CGI late last week. We had a couple of conversations, and they reiterated their banner program is called sponsorship program. They have to sponsorship really means ads, and they can provide us with 25 ads free of charge. Sorry, banners free of charge, and the designs basically they design it themselves. They could go up to those roads that are not state or county, and we have those roads obviously. And there's 25 of them, and they will be free of charge, but they would have advertising on the banner.
They also could advertise fire and police, is what they said as well.
I believe that we could work with them as to what type of advertising they would put up there, but I don't know how much control we fully have on the actual ads.
No, we would have control.
Okay, good. Perfect.
We could pick because I spoke and dealt with them. I know Commissioner Ryan has also spoken and dealt with them on several occasions. But I just wanted to, because we're talking about 2 different programs, I wanted it to be clear that these banners would not be going on the main roads as far as the roads that FDOT owns. Okay. Thank you so much, Fernando. And Commissioner Llewellyn, I believe, has a question.
Do we need a motion for this? And if we do, I would make one.
Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Llewellyn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Ramoli. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the item passes unanimously. Item 9.1 passes unanimously. Thank you, and we will move on to item 10. We have no quasi judicial or public hearings on this agenda, so we will move on to item 11. We have no first reading ordinances on this agenda, so we will move on to our second reading ordinances. We have item 12, item 12.1. Eve, if you would please read item 12.1.
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance of the City Commission authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million to fund the Southwest 34th Terrace Drainage Project, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date. This is public services. And this is second reading, and it does require a public hearing.
Good evening. Should I comment real briefly on this project? This is 34th Terrace, right by that restaurant on Griffin, the Greek restaurant. That street floods quite a bit, even with moderate rain. And we're really excited to get this project started. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, we'll have construction going on the RF. It was put out for bidding, and the winning contractor, the price came in at 1.2 million. So obviously, when you have go over $1 million, we have to come to commission. That's why this is being put on the agenda.
Thank you, Fernando. This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Vice Mayor?
Mayor, I make the motion to pass item 12.1.
All right, I have a motion from Vice Mayor. Do I have a second? Second. Second from Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 12.1 passes unanimously. Item 12.2. Eve, if you would please read item 12.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach amending Chapter 28 entitled Land Development Code to provide certain technical updates, clarifications, and language up to the code relating to green building procedures, off-street parking, landscaping requirements in the CRA zoning district, planned small lot mixed-use development district, signage regulations, definition and term usage within the code, for non-conforming uses, structures, and lots provisions, and concurrency regulations relating to stormwater drainage level of service standards, providing for codification, conflict severability, and effective date, community development, second reading, public hearing.
Good evening. Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Deputy Director in Community Development. This is a text amendment for seven different changes to the Land Development Code. I went through the full presentation at the last meeting. It is second reading, and it was approved by the Planning and Zoning Board as well. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Corinne. This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, do I have a motion? Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I make the motion to pass item 12.2.
I have a motion from Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Ramoli. All in favor say aye. Perfect. Item 12.2 passes unanimously. Moving on to discussion and possible action, we have item 13.1. Eve, if you could please read item 13.1.
Yes, Mayor. It's a resolution of the City Commission pertaining to Resolution 2024-99, which modified Resolution 28-85 and prescribes rules of procedure for City Commission meetings, amending the rules to include requirements for providing backup information on all items, providing for conflicts and their effective date. This is sponsored by Commissioner Llewellyn. It's one simple amendment. If I can just give the brief description and then let Commissioner Llewellyn take it away. It requires 48-hour prior notice for all of the attachments to be provided to the clerk and for publication on the website. And it's a 4/5 vote to waive that requirement should it be needed.
It already is a 48-hour notice for Broward County, is it not?
It's supposed to be 40 under the Broward County rules. You're supposed to have all of your backup 48 hours in advance. If you do not, it then gives you an excuse to provide it at a later time. So what we're saying here is that you need to have backup items 48 hours in advance for our rules.
Okay, and this is basically similar to what was brought up last week, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Eve. And yes, this is basically the same item that I brought up last week, but now you have the resolution with the backups, which is the whole point of the resolution, to make sure that we are providing the proper notice for our residents and for each other, so that we're fully prepared for our meetings and we can make things move forward, especially when we have to vote for something. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. I did that last time. I just wanted to bring it forward in a formal presentation so that you could actually take a look at what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I think that the discussion we had on that last time, I think the transparency is a good idea. It's not going to hurt anything, so I make a motion to remove this item.
I have a motion from Vice Mayor. I have a second from Commissioner Ramoli. And Eve, does this require 4/5 vote?
It does not.
But this would amend.
The amendment for the policy would be a 4/5 vote if there were no backup 48 hours in advance to hear the item. So if you wanted to come forward with nothing, there's nothing prepared, but you wanted to add it onto the agenda, then you would need a 4/5 vote.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Commissioner Ryan. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Here, let me turn my
I just want to clarify, what do we consider as backup? A
It
memo?
could be a memo, as simple as that.
Simple as a memo?
Just an explanation of what you're trying to do.
All right. If you want to go ahead and call that to a vote, hey, Laura?
Commissioner Ryan?
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Commissioner Ramani?
Maybe I should.
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Salvino?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
No. Thank you.
Mayor, motion carries.
Motion carries 4-1. All right. And then next we have Commissioner comments. Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, I'm going to be very brief, since we were just here last week. But two things, just very briefly. One, I'd like to send out condolences to the James family. They lost their matriarch. Tammy James' mother passed away. No, Tammy James, I said. Tammy James' grandmother, Tamara Davis' grandmother. But I did want to send them condolences from the commission. I know we did send some flowers and whatnot, so, but I know it's a big loss to their family. And secondly, our city manager, who's not here tonight, is in Boston with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance, as she mentioned in our last meeting. I spoke to her very briefly today about some of the things that she's seeing up there, and it sounds like she's going to come back with a lot of good information for us. But in the meantime, we have our deputy city manager who pulled double duty today, not only filling in here tonight for our city manager, but also in his new role as our executive director for the CRA. And I just want to thank you. You literally moved things forward without a hitch, and you did a very good job. So thank you. I just wanted to play that publicly. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. And we will move on to Commissioner Ramoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to, I know everybody, everyone attended the Lucky Fish Ribbon Cutting, right?
Yeah.
It was terrific. If you have not had an opportunity to go down to Lucky Fish for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a beautiful addition to our beautiful beach, and it was a lot of fun. I was at the senior club this past week. I just wanted to let everybody know that the senior club is breaking records. They continue to have amazing attendance. Their board has done an excellent job recruiting and keeping those members, and they do a wonderful job. They just have a lot of fun there, so I'm very proud to be a senior. I hate to say that, but I am a senior, and I enjoy it. So thank you to them. I also wanted a shout out, thank you to Candido, you and your entire staff for redoing the road on Southeast Fifth Avenue right there at the corner of 7th. Had a lot of requests to have that done. Your team did an amazing job. And I also want to thank you for your out of the box thinking when a resident approached us about extending a sidewalk on Southeast 10th Street. That sidewalk really could not extend the way she wanted it. But you guys came up with a brilliant idea. It looks amazing, and I've had several people already comment on, wow, this is cool. Why didn't we do this before? They did ask, however, to stripe it. So maybe you all can think about striping it. Thank you so much. And Commissioner Llewellyn already brought up former Mayor Tamara James's grandmother and Tammy James's mother, Annette Rumpf Funches, who passed away. She was a cherished matriarch of their family, and she was very dedicated to her faith, her family, and the community, and she was a longtime member of the St. Ruth Missionary Baptist Church, and I just want to extend my condolences to their entire family as well. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramoli and Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'd like to send out my condolences to the Funches and James family as well. I wanted to go over a couple items with the commission. For our next meeting, it's not 100%, but I might not be able to make it. So I was seeing if I could attend via phone. I checked with IT and they said it's possible. I could do it. I think Commissioner and Vice Mayor Salvino did it once before. I don't want to make it like a regular thing. It's just I might not be able to make it to the meeting. So I'm just seeing if I could get permission to attend over the phone. Like technically I could miss the meeting and you guys have a quorum going without me, but I'd rather bring this up. Yeah, but I'd rather bring it up to you instead, if that's okay with the commission.
I have no problem with it, but I was told that you had to be sick in order to miss the meeting.
The main requirement is illness, but I think you can make an exception if somebody's traveling.
Okay, I have no problem with it.
I think if you're not gonna be able to be here, it'd be just as easy not to just let the four of us do it, not stress yourself out over that, because it's hard to be playing back.
Okay, it's not set in stone. I just wanted to run
I would just
run
the meeting before the forum.
You have consensus if you want to attend by phone.
Thanks.
Yeah,
okay, and this last item I wanted to bring up is about the AC Frost House, the 158 South Federal Highway property that we discussed and we brought it up. They got, it's not designated historical property in our city, even though it's built by our founder in 1913. They got approval for a demolition permit from the city. So they can demolish that property at any time that they wish. We were in negotiations with the sellers for that property, and we didn't reach an agreement. And we had two appraisals on the property, and it came out that they want above appraised value. So that comes to a 4/5 vote for the commission. So I'm gonna let you guys know. So it might be an item that I'm going to bring forward next because time is of the essence. They could, like I said, they could demolish the property tomorrow. So it really comes down to how much is the value of that property to us historically and as a city. And also we own the property next door, so we can expand our footprint there and have like close to an acre directly on US 4 on a corner. So I want to bring that up to the commission for your thoughts, and that's the whole point of why I want to attend the next meeting, because we probably put that on the agenda. So those are my comments. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for those comments, and we look forward to seeing it as an agenda item. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Everybody really talks about everything before it gets to me, so I just wanted to tell everybody good night and thank you very much. No comments.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And yes, everybody pretty much said everything. I did want to thank Commissioner Ryan for, I forgot to thank him last week, but he attended the Realtors Association on my behalf when I was just getting back from Tallahassee. Can't do everything, so it's good to know that you have backup when you can't go to all these different things. So I appreciate you showing up for me, and showing up, for our city and having representation for Dania Beach. I also attended the South Florida Film Festival uh, at Mad Arts, which is a partnership with the Broward County Commission. Which Candido does so many things. You don't know that he's behind the scenes working with the Broward County Commission Film Festival, along with our very own Chris Laudier. And I didn't know that everything from Iron Man 3 to Miami Vice to the Real Housewives to Timberland and Cape Fear, all these different movie scenes and TV shows and brands are filmed right here in the city of Dania Beach. So we have been deemed a film friendly city, and I think that's pretty cool. And so I was able to make a lot more relationships and try to encourage people to come on down to Dania Beach and call it Dania Beach. But sometimes they come down and they call it Miami. That's just the way. That's just the way it goes because we have much better prices here than they do in Miami, and we're a much friendlier city and county than Miami. So we're working on it. We're working on our name on all fronts, but we are going to be out there, I believe, with this team working together. I also had the wonderful privilege of attending the uh, third annual Dan Marino National Autism Awareness Month Family Fun Sundays. They actually had the dolphin out there this year. Usually they had the marlin, but they had the dolphin out there. Kids all over our city of Dania Beach had representation from Parks and Recreation. So I want to shout out to them for coming out on a Sunday. And it was just a family friendly, great event. Our BSO was out there, so we want to thank Detective Huff and Session and her team and their team for all coming out at the time. So it is Autism Awareness Month. We do have the Dan Marino Foundation headquarters who's celebrating 1 year in the city, and so we're very grateful to have them. And I believe it's going to be Easter. So happy Easter, everyone, and have a great evening. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.